All right, here we go. So we have one of the rising artists in the New York music scene right now. We have Paidvictim on the platform. How are you doing today?
What's going on? I'm Gucci. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling rejuvenated. I'm very grateful. Thank you for reaching out to me.
That's blessed. So I actually heard about you from an interview that I've seen like a while back too from Model Pick Station. So I've actually worked with Richland like on like some creative content like in the past and all that. And basically like after seeing your interview, since like he usually does like the interviews like in New York and Buffalo, like I just checked out your stuff, and I kind of like I pretty much like the sound like in a way too. It is like very unique and different from what I've usually seen in the New York like music scene and all that too. And I think it's like kind of like an alternative experimental vibe, which I think that's something that it could be like really used like in the future and all that. Like I definitely see that, so.
Thank you. I'm glad that first of all, I have people listening and checking me out in a whole different country. Because first of all, as you know, I'm very niche. I'm very growing still. So it's like, wow, that like signs like these make me want to keep going. Very appreciative. And also Rich is mad cool. I gotta check out whatever y'all did too. But thank you. I really appreciate this.
That's facts. Yeah, I just want to get it like started right now. So, you grew up in like Long Island, correct?
Yes, 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 yes. People
So,
have a lot to say about Long Island, but honestly, some of the greatest people came out of Long Island, like Method Man, De La Soul, Lana Del Rey, like, you feel me? Pay Victim. So yeah, like hopefully I get to put that shit on the map.
yeah, that's facts. So, like the environment, like growing up in like Long Island, like was that like very like interesting growing up? Like, would you say it was like a great experience like growing up there, or was it like very like different in that sense?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Long Island, like at least when I was growing up, it didn't really have like a huge art scene or like music or things like that. For some reason, people don't realize there's crime out there, like which is crazy because MS-13 is like a huge gang. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Like they're the people that chop up bodies. So there was like both. Like when people say here I'm from Long Island, they think like off rip, like there wasn't a struggle. But I was like some of the few. There was like me, this guy named Ty Bands and like two other people that was probably rapping like in high school and stuff like that. But yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like for my experience in Long Island, it was very controversial. I was always like a low key legend. Like I was cool with everyone, but for the most part, like at first I got bullied. I'm not even gonna hold you. People was like, "Yo, she's mad. Like she's trying. Like she's mad. Weird. What's wrong with this girl?" You feel me? And I used to try to fit in like junior high, middle school, and then like ninth grade, I just started saying fuck it and like started being me. That's literally when I became paid victim. I got my first job. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in a rat race." Like I'm gonna have to live in this system where I have to like work a job I don't want to work to survive for the rest of my life. That's where paid victim came from. I already
Yeah.
jumped ahead and answered the question. But long story short, um, I just started embracing just being unique and niggas started gravitating towards me. Like you feel me? And I like went best dressed. And then like I started even like my first song or two, like that most niggas don't know about on SoundCloud. A lot of my listeners were from Long Island. And it's just funny to see like when I left and it came to the towns, like a lot of niggas got inspired and just started doing music. And that's usually how it is. Niggas hate and then they copy. So
Yeah, that's facts. And from like the first phrase that you said, like Wagwan and all that too, like I'm assuming you have like some like Caribbean like background and all that. Like that's
yeah.
correct.
Word, word, word. I'm Haitian and Guyanese. I'm not Jamaican, but my nigga Jamaican. He's Jamaican me crazy. So bye
Yeah,
bye.
that's facts because I know like New York, it has like a very big scene like with like the Caribbean, like with Jamaicans, Trinis, Haitians, like Guyanese, like it's like even like in the food too. Like if you go to like Brooklyn, Queens, like Bronx too. So it is like amazing to see and all that, so.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We got the best eats, man. I could have never leave New York, real shit, because it's really like I feel like we're like all the major things are here, like in terms of the industry and just like culturally. Like I feel like you can't live here, grow up here, go somewhere else, and then feel like it makes sense. Because everything's here. Like everyone's here and everything's here. So it's like love New York, man. And I love
Yeah.
my Caribbean people. I'm
Yeah.
literally in Little Caribbean right now. I'm in Flatbush.
True. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
facts. Like that's a good vibe either way too. Like Flatbush, like it's for the culture either way too. Like Flatbush zombies, like even like the whole like everybody hates Chris, that whole
Yeah.
like era too. Like that's like even Biggie. Like it's amazing to see and all that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you grew up with an aunt that was like a songwriter for like Bad Boys. So like what was that life like, having someone like in your family like being tapped into like music like that?
Rest in peace to my auntie Leah. She actually died last August, but she was like one of my favorite aunts growing up, like because she was so quirky and just even though she didn't really pursue it, because she saw a lot of evil things in the industry. No Diddy. But you feel me? Like it's so funny because she like okay, so boom, this was her little story, right? She was supposed to be Aaliyah before Aaliyah, like the singer was Aaliyah. And but they were trying to make my aunt be sexual and like all these things that she wasn't. She was just like, I'll just songwrite. And from there, I just always looked at her like, wow, like I kind of find myself even there as an artist right now where I'm just like, I love this shit, but I'm not going to sell my soul or like change who I am. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that weird, but I'm starting to see that doors are opening with like artists that are coming into the game. We're gonna talk about them down the line, like Doechii, whatever, that aren't really like selling out. So it's kind of refreshing. But long story short, it was very inspiring having an aunt like that because like there's a lot of people in my family that came from the arts, but she was like the one person that was really tapped into it and never like lost herself. So I really always like wanted to keep that with me as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
facts. Not it is a kind of like amazing to see like someone like in the family like take part in like music like that too, and like even like getting into like the gist of like the whole like inspiration and all that too. So what inspired you to like do this and like even like take it like seriously?
So what made me okay, so boom. I was doing this shit for like shits and giggles at first, like because I've always been a writer. Like I've always literally just liked writing. I wrote my first chapter when I was like in the second grade. Had strict ass parents, you feel me? So I never really like had I was allowed to go outside. So what made me just take rap seriously was like when I seen like back in I want to say 2020, people like Doechii like started taking me like asking me to work with me, and like at the time she wasn't who she is now. But she had traction. And I'm like, damn, like people I don't fucking know are like reaching out to me and they're like, nah, nah, nah. I'm like, damn, let me start taking this shit serious. Like, and I did. And like a year after that, I made it into paper magazine and I just started getting like hella like people hit me up talking about perform. Because one thing about me, I perform. I feel like out of everything, I love performing. Like, cause I don't know. I feel like it really brings who you are as an artist. And, like anyone could be on the mic and auto tune, but like a performer is like a whole different genre within itself. So yeah, just people like her recognizing me, and then just even seeing her blow up after that, I was like, wow, yeah, like this shit is possible. You feel me? Because she was just kind of like a girl like me, just an average girl in her room, like making music.
Yeah,
So I'm like, shit, if she could do it, what's my excuse?
yeah, that's
Shout
facts
out to
because
her. We gonna work. We gonna work.
yeah, because I know she won I think rap album of the year for the
Yeah,
Grammys, and then
sure.
also
Yeah, yeah.
um and then I
Congrats.
think I know that I think she also got like some traction like for anxiety and all that too. Like I know like Will Smith and like I think Tatiana Ali were like dancing to that song too. So like it is like amazing to see that someone who reached out to you like a while back is like
Yes.
now
And it was
doing
right before yo, it was literally crazy. Like it was literally, I swear to you, it was the year before she blew up. It was right before it was literally during the pandemic. I was supposed to be so boom, she hit me up. She sent me this sample for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. It was supposed to be a bunch of artists from like different states. I was the girl from New York. She was from Florida. There was like different artists. It never fell through, but even just the fact that something like that got presented to me, I'm like, shit, like this is major. And it made me like it very much so inspired me. And it also, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna just put my verse that didn't get added to that, and I put it in my song FYI.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope to hear and all that. I know you talked about that with Richland like on the Model Pick Station interview, and it was like amazing to hear too. And I want to get back onto like the gist of performing too, because I know it's like a little bit like in the next for the questions, but like
Mhm.
you're on Trash, you're on Blockwork TV, so how's it like performing your songs on there, and like how did those like come about, and like the feeling of being there and all that?
That was a huge part of me saying, fuck it, let me invest in myself as artist. Because those are one of those things they invite you like on the radar. But I just said, fuck it. Like I just put my money towards that. I invested into that. And honestly, it was a little controversial because mind you, this is like I have no team. Like I'm like really just doing this shit on my own, not having any knowledge. And I didn't realize, oh shit, like this might not be the platform. This is not like my niche on here, whatever. I had like people show me hella love in my DMs. It was weird, but then I like you already know the IG real comments was like crazy. Niggas was like
Hmm.
misgendering me. Niggas was doing all types of shit. And honestly, in hindsight, I wish I just kept my comments open because I feel like a huge part of like going viral is the trolls, like the traction you get, because it's traction, right? And it gets the algorithm and it pushes you to people that appreciate. But I think just me, even just being in the time period in my life where I kind of lost the passion for music, like around the time that I was doing that shit, I was just like, Mm, I kind of had like a so-so kind of feeling about it because at the end of the day, I'm a human being, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, this hurts. But ultimately, I had to realize a lot of people will hate you for what you have inside of you. Like the fact that you're fearless, you express yourself and you don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people were just in my shit projecting. But next shit I get on, I'm leaving the comments open. I'm going viral. Okay.
That's facts.
Yeah.
To speak more like on your influences and all that, so like what artists or genres like are you like mainly like influenced by, and who would you like to work with like someday like musically and all that?
So right now, who I'm heavily influenced by is my homegirl, Sally Mata. She actually just was on the radar. She invited me. I was in the back. You probably saw me in my little green suit.
Yeah,
They kind of violate. They cropped everyone out a little bit. I think I'm in like some of the clips, but I don't give a fuck. I was there for her because honestly, she's like one, like to me, like one of those fellow like artists that I have a relationship with. Where like if she needs a muse, I pull up. If I need a muse, and before she even started blowing up, like mind you, she's on tour right now with I think I'm saying his name correct, Mike or Mikey. Mike likes to
uh,
rap. Some shit like that. Yeah, like
yeah.
she's on tour with him right now. Like I saw her same shit, like just be a girl like me. And like we were just in the room, like our friend Smut's room, like chopping it up, like da da da. And I just she was in the same place as me at one point where she was just like not really that inspired. I was like, girl, fuck that. Like you gotta keep going, whatever. And I just love how she kind of turned around and passed the torch to me when I was in that place as an artist where I was like, you feel me? And just to see how she's like grown, like she's like overseas right now with the love of her life. She's on tour. I'm like, fuck, like you feel me? Like that's like just especially because I have a personal relationship with her, like that really inspires me. Like I don't really look at no shade like people that are A-list celebrities and look at them and like think the grass is greener, but somebody I actually know, like in the motion and like their dreams are coming true, like yeah. And people I want to work with, Doechii, because honestly, we never got to do the collab, so I definitely want to work with her. I want to work with Pharrell. I want to work with The Alchemist, Erica Badu, JT, and I'm already about to work with my homegirl Sally. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I can think of right here. But yeah, those are like the top people though.
Yeah, that's facts because I mean like a lot of them they have like their own like creative like just like when it comes to like the music too like Doechii like with the expanded like sounds and all that too like Pharrell like with the beats
Yeah.
and even like with like local and independent artists too I feel like that's where like most like artists like on the rise that are kind of like gravitating to because like they feel like with like the people like within like their circle like when you're thinking like horizontally like not vertically like collaborating and working like that's like usually like the best outcome, like more than like anything else and all that. So
Right. Hmm.
yeah. To speak more about your style, like to people, like how would you like describe it, like when it comes to like the music and like creativity and all that?
I would call me like eclectic for sure. Like I'm an eclectic artist, timeless. Like honestly, I like heard some of the songs I dropped in 2017 that's like a lot of people don't know about. Like when I was fucking 18. I'm like, damn, this shit still sounds good. Like it sounds like something I could hear today and dropping. You feel me? I really feel like I'm a timeless artist. Like, cause I don't follow trends. I'm not about to be like, oh, niggas is doing Jersey Club. Like, let me do Jersey Club. Like, you feel me? So that's what I guess I'm terrible at fucking putting myself in a box. That's the best I could put myself in a box though, if I could describe myself though as an artist.
Yeah, no, that's facts. And I mean to even like speak more like on the music too, because you have like Intruder Alert, like the audio Asin, I Don't
Mhm.
Care, Stratosphere, and then Pheromone, like slash like Incline too. So to speak more on the processes, like what were like the creative processes and like inspirations for those tracks?
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm trying to move away from this. But majority of my shit really be like trauma dumping. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's just like a lot of shit that like I just feel like I have to release. Like probably from a breakup, a friendship I had to walk away from. Things that were very hard. But like I feel like I wanted to make it about and relatable. Like shit like, oh my gosh, like girl, this was hard for me too. But like we got past it. And we're in a place where we're good about it, where we could even make a song and we don't give a fuck. We could re-listen to it and it's like I don't even see the situation the same, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my creative process. Like, and then um I have like a lot of like just growing up, like grew up listening to like Elton John, to certain like artists. So like I try to sample that. And even in my dancehall demon song, like my Caribbean side, like I always try to add like an element of what like an ode to what I grew up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's facts because like I know with like a lot of people too, like music is like kind of like therapy like nowadays too, and like they use like with the releases like the lyrics, everything else, like it connotates to whatever experience that they may have like faced or like that they maybe want to like speak on. Like I know YG just a couple days ago he released a song where I think he talked about like being like sexually assaulted like when he was like a child and all that too. So like a lot like take it like within like different like meanings and all that too. So like in your opinion, do you ever feel like music is like kind of like a therapy, like in that sense too?
Yes, like I feel like that's like the burden of being an artist, and that's why I even like bringing it back to the trash thing, like, cause it's like nigga, I'm actually being very vulnerable right now, and I know like people like that are very, I'm not gonna call it insensitive, because honestly, if I'm scrolling all day and it's like content overload, like nobody like that doesn't know you is like obligated to give a fuck about you and your life story, but it's like. Yeah, like half the time with us artists, like half the shit we're talking about is some shit we once struggled with, whether it be drugs or like something like that's very hard, and we've turned that into like a muse of inspiration to like inspire others. So it do be kind of like, it's like very vulnerable, and it's again it's like therapy, but like on a platform that everyone can listen to.
Yeah, that's facts.
you know,
And yeah, for sure. And do you mainly record like at home or do you also do like recordings like in the studio and all that?
I really like to record. Like I like energy. So yeah, like I really would like to record in like my man's at home studio or like this song I have coming up soon, LOL. We recorded it in a church basement.
Oh, true.
Like it's
Uh,
random as hell. I just like doing random shit, like honestly. Yeah. This right here, I record like twice on it. Honestly, it's collected dust. I need to get back on it, but yeah, like I like to go to the studio for sure. And
for
again,
sure.
home studios, preferably like with friends, and it's like drinks. It's not niggas like, oh, you got 20 more minutes. I hate shit like that. That's
Yeah,
ass.
not yeah, that's facts. So like what would like a day like in the studio be like?
Um, it would be soju, za, um, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, before I even pull up to the studio, I really have like I have this way about me where I already know what the chorus is. Like so then by the time we put the chorus, we know the beat, the tempo, and then I say the chorus, and then we make the beat, and then I'm like, okay, and then I just kind of like low-key freestyle the rest. But I feel like that's to me my process of making a song. I feel like once you kind of have a chorus, you can make a tempo, you can make a beat off that chorus. And then the rest is like you kind of just go with the theme of the chorus. The chorus is like the theme to me. Like I forgot what it's called, the subject, the thesis, maybe,
Yeah.
if I'm saying it correctly, of a
Yeah,
song. Like this
yeah,
is the
like
overall subject. So that's
yeah,
my
like
process.
yeah, like the premise and all that too. No, I definitely get it
Yeah.
too, So yeah. Um to speak more on like your move to like Brooklyn. So like later on, like you moved to like Brooklyn to like expand and like develop like your career there. So tell me more about like that transition from like moving from like Long Island to Brooklyn and like what made you decide that Brooklyn's like the place to like start the career and all that?
So boom. I actually didn't come out here for music. I came out here for school. Um, and then I found music. But I've always had music. I've always grew up in the arts, like chorus, my church choir, playing the drums. Like I've always been an artist, but they're just not labeling it as such. And just like literally the transition of me coming out here, I came out for school randomly one day, was looking for weed. And this guy, like literally was with my friend. I was like, girl, should I ask him? Like something my intuition was like, she's like, nah. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna ask him, right? I asked him. He's like, yeah, I'm the plug. He's like, follow me. I was like, okay. He like had this like mysterious basement. It was like dark down there. We were like, should we go? She was like, I was like, you go first. I'll stay here. She went. She's like, girl, there's a whole studio down there. I was like, no way. We go down there. We smoke. They're like, you like everyone like always assumes I sing before they like. I guess the way I look, they don't think I rap. So they're like, oh, you sing like whatever. I was like, I did. I can sing. I grew up in church. But I was just like, nah, like I would really be writing bars or whatever. Nigga gave me a free beat. Literally made my first song tonight on some bullshit. But yeah, that
Yeah, that's
transition
facts.
from Long Island to Brooklyn, I love Brooklyn because I feel like Brooklyn is like I said, like you could just meet anyone here, like and shit just happens, and it's like the hustle and the bustle, and like everybody's on the grind. Long Island, it's kind of like I won't say it's like that now, but when I was growing up, it was like niggas will hate on you for wanting to do your dreams. Like I swear to God, like it's the weirdest shit ever. It was like weird.
Yeah, no, that's facts because like I know like there's like a lot of like well-known artists that came from like Long Island too, like as you said, like with EPMD, Public Enemy, I know like DMX and like Jadakiss, like they were like all from like Yonkers,
No.
like and then I mean Charlie and like Lil Tecca, like they were both like from like Long Island too, so like but like they didn't get the traction like until like
Yeah.
they came to like the Brooklyns, the Queens, the
Yeah.
Staten Islands, Harlems and all that too, so
Yeah.
do you ever feel like, like Brooklyn or like Queens or like any of the other boroughs like have like more of a better infrastructure than like what like Long Island has to like offer in that sense, or is it like kind of like
Like
the
quite
same?
literally, yes. They have art schools here and everything. Like out there, it's really like that's why a lot of people either find themselves in crime, drugs, or like marrying their like childhood sweetheart, miserable divorce. Like it's like those three options, all jokes aside. Like you feel me? So I felt like literally even from a young age, I was like, what made me realize I forgot to mention too, like I needed to come here. Just beyond school was like my senior year of school, like I was in fashion week and I came out here and I just saw like just the environment. Like there was a crowd and there was people that were just like me. Like I wasn't weird there. Like you feel me? It was like normal. It was like soul tribe shit. So I was like, damn, there's a bunch of rainbow children here. Like, okay. Like I don't have to like explain the concept. I
Yeah,
like to be where I'm understood and heard and seen. So, and then
yeah,
that's just like naturally happened here. So I was like, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry to
no,
gentrify though, but it is what it is.
yeah,
I
yeah.
came over.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. And even to talk about like the whole like New York, New Jersey, like music scene right now, like I know it's like on a rise right now because of like the Slizzy drill, like for the most part too, with the sample drill with like Cash Cobain, Chow Lee, like Basswag, like R2 Armo, like I know that scene's like very popular right now. I know with some of the experimental stuff, it's like very popular with like Mike, like Lord Sko, with like Abby Jasmine and like some of the stuff from like Long Island and like Harlem and then like some of the other artists like Lola Brooke and all that too. So, but like in your opinion, like how do you feel about like the scene at the moment right now?
Um, in terms of Jersey, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't really know much, but out here, I'm loving. I love what we're doing. I feel like okay. Boom bap is always gonna eat. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like we started getting hella like head ass New York. Hey yo, Timbu. Like I don't know, like you feel me? Like I love to see that we're creating like sexy drill. Like we have our own niches and genres, and I'm not gonna lie, the older generation is starting to pay like we're paying homage to them, but also they're starting to like respect it because they used to hate it. Like 2017, the old generation was like mumble rap, I hate this, or I like now they're coming around, and you can't deny it. Like New York is always. I'm not gonna say the other places are like definitely like bring attraction. I love to see that too. But we're always going to be on top. We're always going to be setting the trend. And I love to see, even I forgot to say, Cash Cobain's another one I would love to work with, either whether it be it producing or whatever. You feel me? Everyone's
Yeah.
doing their shit though. But I will say one thing I don't like about the scene out here is it is low key crabs in a barrel. And like niggas be name dropping heavy. It's like about who you know. Nobody takes you serious until they see something. But that's kind of life, you feel me? But I can't really say that because other like I did consider at one point leaving this scene and going to Atlanta because I'm like, damn, like everyone like bro, everywhere else, like even like Canada, whatever, like people just instantly like show you that love and want to work because like I feel like they don't have that like limited mentality, like, oh, we're doing the same thing, we can't. You feel me? So it's just really like nice to see.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Like I definitely like agree too. Like even like from being in Toronto too, because like we have our own issues as well too. Like with the music scene, entertainment scenes, like with the culture, it's like we look at like Atlanta or we look at New York, and like it's like very like interesting too. Like it's like on a rise, like in that sense too, and like it's like definitely like amazing to see and all that. No, so
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Do you ever have like any like regrets like in your life, or do you regret like nothing in that sense?
I feel like I feel like when people say they don't regret shit, they're lying. I don't know how to explain it. Like, bro, that's a lie. I think we could all look at something and be like, I could have done this better. I think to sit here though, like, cause I look at shit on vibrations. Like, I think shame and regret are like one of the lowest vibrations you could have. I like to like transmute those things and like get inspired. Like, oh, how could I be better the next time? So I won't say I'm like deep in sorrow and regret. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what was me? Like, you feel me? But I could definitely say there are things like, especially like with people I've met in this industry, I could have done like went about it differently. Like there's certain people in this industry, like for instance, I've always been resourceful. I might have been like I've always been around niggas with names and shit like that, and I feel like they looked at me and they saw like, oh okay, like she's cool. I'm like I could like she's resourceful. Maybe I could take advantage of her. You feel me? And I've been green. Just in hindsight, like how I've approached those situations, like I'm like, I should have went about it like this. I shouldn't have shit where I ate it or whatever. You feel me? But no, I don't regret shit, man. You can't have that mentality. All you could do is apply the knowledge and move tack the next time.
That's facts. And for people that want to like check out like your stuff and all that too, like we usually have a playlist called like TY's like Rising Acts too, where we add like a lot of like songs from like upcoming artists and such like that. So like name three songs in your catalog that you would like to recommend to add to the playlist or to recommend to anyone that wants to know more about you that hasn't heard about you before, but like they would like to listen and all that.
Okay, so I will say I don't care, intruder alert, and chastity belt.
Oh, true, true. And as far as like the last question and all that too, so like what do you have like coming up next? Like I know that you have like an upcoming single that you're gonna like drop soon and like everything else too. So like what can you state like what do you have like coming up next and if you have like any closing remarks and all that?
So stay tuned. Yeah, I know like I'm really working on my artistry this year because honestly, I feel like I have to hold myself accountable. Like, yes, I have no team, but I could do more on my end and work on my catalog and just be more like consistent with dropping. I really like have the smallest discography ever, especially for the amount of time I've been making music. So um I have a song coming out. I don't want to give too much away. It's with Baby Africa's producer, Doechii's, and my homegirl Biscuit. You feel me? And it's really kind. I think it's like I'm actually coming out with like it's gonna be similar to how I sound, but it's gonna be like rebranded for sure. So I'm I'm excited for y'all to hear it. And
I would
definitely if you could add it in the near future to that playlist, because I think to me I was gonna name drop it, but I'm like nobody's heard it, so it's definitely one
that's
of my favorite
facts.
songs right now. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely like love to see it soon and like to catch up on that too. So likewise.